Bayley just shot on Becky Lynch and exposing the truth behind their entire history together. So look, Bayley and Becky Lynch are two of the legendary Four Horsewomen alongside Charlotte Flair and Mercedes Moné. For a decade, we've watched them go from allies to bitter rivals, and Bayley's recent return and attack on the man has reignited their iconic feud. But this isn't just a wrestling angle anymore. Everyone assumes that their on-screen heat is built on a foundation of real-life friendship and sisterhood. What if I said that Bayley just admitted that their friendship was a complete myth and that she and Becky were never friends to begin with? In a recent storyline involving Bayley and Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw, well, it's ignited their long-standing rivalry, with Bayley seeking revenge after Lynch's actions at WrestleMania. Bayley feels that Lynch's attack, which led to Bayley being sidelined, was a personal betrayal, despite Lynch claiming it was a strategic move to get her into a tag team title match. Lynch, in turn, sees this by using the situation to fuel their rivalry, even turning on Lyra Valkyria, her recent tag team partner, to further the conflict with Bayley. Now, look, this is what it comes down to. Bayley was supposed to team with Lyra Valkyria to challenge Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. It was Becky Lynch and Lyra winning the tag team titles after Becky attacked Bayley. You probably knew that. And of course, Becky and Lyra dropped the tag team titles, only for Becky to then turn on Lyra Valkyria. They worked a match. Lyra got one over on Becky before Becky won the Intercontinental title from Lyra. Now, Bayley is back, and she's not only trying to get her own revenge, but she's also trying to get her revenge for her tag team partner. Now, on the June 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw, it was Becky Lynch retaining the Intercontinental title over Bayley via DQ. They went about 14 minutes. Lyra Valkyria has since returned to WWE television, and a lot of people expect there to be a triple threat. Bayley, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, Evolution 2, July 13th. While speaking on a latest episode of Raw Recap, Bayley was asked about the legacy of the Women's Intercontinental title in WWE and if the rivalries between her and Becky will help elevate the women's title to those heights that the men's title faces. She said this: "It's really cool to think about that. People may think like that. I think to me, it's not about the title right now. It's kind of just like a cherry on top, to be honest. As much as I would love to win that title, as much as I would love to win the U.S. title, because those are things I've never done before, like you said, like I've done a lot, almost everything, but there's brand new titles that I've never won that I wouldn't mind carrying, calling myself one of those champions one day. But I also think the Intercontinental title for the women, it started off well. I think the tournament was awesome. All the matches that Lyra had and defended, I think, were freaking great. I think she was a perfect inaugural champion. I think the whole workhorse title really showcased in the women's division very well, and I think it got off to a good start. But I do believe for Becky and I to bring the experience to that championship and get the eyes on it, and it's only going to make everybody in the division hungrier to get that title, and that's what it's all about. That's really like bringing the tag team titles. Like, that was always the goal, was to bring more eyes on more women in the division, make the women more hungry and want something bigger, better, and more for themselves. I think that's what this is going to do. If a match between Becky and I can level it up just a little bit, then that's what I want to do. I'm just here to beat the living crap out of her, and my shoulder is nice and healthy now. So I think the title would fit perfectly. So, good comments by Bayley, and she really, if you look at it from like a bigger standpoint, I think she covered a lot more than what people expect with this feud. It's not just about Bayley. It's not just about Becky Lynch. It's not just about these two women colliding. This is really bigger. It's a bigger purpose. It's bigger than just them two. It's bigger than the Four Horsewomen. It's bigger than their rivalry. It's bigger than, rising up Lyra Valkyria. It is about establishing a championship that can help mold future WWE stars, right? Because if you look at the purpose from the history of time, what was the purpose behind a secondary championship? It was always to elevate talents. It was supposed to be, okay, if you hold a secondary title and you win it and you defend it, then you are in a very good spotlight and a position to elevate yourself to the main event scene, right? So if you win the Intercontinental, you'll win the US title, and you have a good reign, then WWE management then would look at you and go, hey, I think this talent is ready for a world title run. Let's give them a push. And that's exactly what they're doing here. And that's what I love about it. And if you can keep that and you can look at it from a woman's standpoint or a female standpoint, then hey, you're in business. You're in prime time real estate to really get everything you need done out of this title. So, you look at Bayley and you look at Becky Lynch and obviously your Charlotte Flairs and your Paiges and your Emmas and your Mercedes Monets and all of these talents that have come forward. We are really in this interesting spot where the older guard are on the latter stages of their career, right? Or maybe middle point. But I would think your Charlottes and your Baileys and your Beckys, they're on the latter part of their careers, they're not really in the middle of their careers, right? Whether because they're pushing 40, uh, and that is starting to be an age where while yes, some talents are wrestling into their 50s, there's a lot that just call it a day in their 40s. So you never know, like with Bayley. I see her being a talent that transitions to being a backstage agent. I see Asuka being that as well. There's a lot of talents that can do that. I think Charlotte Flair will try to branch out into modeling and acting. I think Becky Lynch is going to go into acting. She's already pursued that. I mean, that was what she was doing during her hiatus. So you have all these different talents branching off in different ways and seeing where they can go. And so you look at this title and it's like, okay, what can they do? What can they do next to help elevate themselves? What can they do to, further their own career and further the company? So that is what I'm interested in. That's what I'm interested in seeing what plays out, how it plays out, everything like that. But in terms of the women's, US championship, women's IC championship, I don't see Bayley necessarily beating Becky for it. I think Lyra is going to come back and get her ultimate revenge on Becky and probably unseat her as champion. But Bayley and Becky, that's a feud that does not necessarily need a championship attached to it. You could always have a championship attached to it, but you don't necessarily need a championship attached to it. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'm curious to see. I would assume we get a triple threat at Evolution 2, but you never know, right? You never know how they're going to go. You could do probably, like a special guest referee or whatever, but I would anticipate it being a triple threat.